Hey everybody, welcome to Hit Rewind. I'm Michael, and that's Kersey on the other side.
Hey, how's it going?
I don't really think there needs to be much of an introduction anymore. We talk about movies from the olden days. The olden days, back when they still had celluloid on the silver screen. Actually, I don't know. They still use silver screens? I don't think so.
I don't think so. That shit's expensive.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I wonder why was it called silver screen? Is that the only thing that reflected it properly? What they don't use that now. They didn't use that when I worked at a movie theater. It's just like a plain generic white screen. I'm curious. I should look that up sometime.
Was it actually silver, or is it just like a thing people would say, like the golden age of cinema? Like is
Yeah,
it just?
or
Yeah.
like it reflected maybe that it looked silver. I maybe back in the day though, didn't film used to be like something like silver nitrate or something, and that's why it exploded and they had to change it to something else and then something else because it kept deteriorating and catching on fire.
I don't know.
Let's find 100-year-old projectionist to come on the show.
If you're out there, please drop us a line.
All right. So the first movie we're going to start off with. So I did two. Choose to. I can't talk. I chose two. He chose two. Which usually I'm the control freak and I control all four, and I'm not doing that anymore. And we try
Well,
to
you
stay.
might now, because I guess you just kind of alluded to behind the scenes that you really didn't like one of mine.
I
So.
know, and it's sacrilege when someone found out they were so like, what the fuck? All right, so Sonny Chiba is big. Look, he was. I looked him up. I thought this was his like very very early on, like first few roles. No, he had been acting for like 20 years, just slowly working himself up from cameos, background player, small roles. And this, he had already been a star in like 5 or 6 movies, like the star. But whatever it was about Street Fighter, it was something brand new in Kung Fu, and everybody was imitating Bruce Lee. And even Jackie Chan in the beginning was imitating Bruce Lee for a couple movies until he said he had to go out. Like was that last episode, Snake and Eagle's Shadow,
Yeah, yeah.
where he finally found his voice, the more comedic, lighthearted, gymnastic kind of martial arts movie. Sonny Chiba is a complete and absolute other fucking direction. You think his character in Enter the Dragon, Bruce Lee's character in Enter the Dragon, was a badass? This motherfucker rips out throats. He hits you so hard you throw up. You cough up your balls. And the whole thing, like he's that so many people imitated.
That's a lot of people will kind of think of Bruce Lee when they think of that, but he really goes way further than Bruce Lee does when he makes that face of like the tightening the neck muscles.
Yeah, and spasming of the lips and the eyes and the cheeks, and he makes these kind of sounds. Whatever Bruce Lee was doing, it's like he wanted to do the exact opposite so that he could stand out.
Yeah.
The plot is irrelevant, basically.
I was gonna say, I was like, I think there's an entire act missing somewhere in the movie.
Maybe. Look, this is a movie. I believe Shout Factory finally restored it. There was an X-rated cut. It was the first non-sexual reasons for an X-rated. It was for the violence, and I know that it went from the original distributor in overseas over to New Line Cinema, and then New Line Cinema had to edit it, and then New Line Cinema lost the rights and went public domain for a while, and then finally Shout Factory went to the original source, got the original print, and then got the rights to clean it up and give it a really pristine version. I have not seen that version because, like I said, it was public domain forever. You remember those cheapo martial arts sets you get? 15-minute martial arts movies for $15. Every single one of those has Street Fighter and all the sequels.
Yeah.
And he's just entertaining as fuck, man. And I've seen a few of his other movies. His Golgo 13 is great. Bullet Train, awesome. I just think he's like. Just absolutely electrifying and compelling because he's so spastic and weird, and these movies are just mind-boggling levels of violence.
That's really the thing that separates it from like Hong Kong style action movies, which very rarely, like they'll do bruises, some cuts, a little bit of blood, but this dials it up to an 11 in terms of like physical violence and showing like just how devastating it would be to be struck by somebody with this amount of power that they're wielding. It is like if you watch like a good Hong Kong kung fu movie. It makes you want to learn kung fu. It's like, oh man, this revs me up and excites me. This terrifies me.
Yeah,
It
it's almost horror, but yeah.
Of The Raid, where it's almost like a horror film in terms of like of how they show the devastating level of brutality of him, like literally grabbing a guy's nuts and just exploding them in his hand, like, and then he bleeds to death. Like it shows you just how hard, that's how awful it would be to be in a fight.
Yeah,
it's frightening.
And it's the first movie to. I don't know. Still, it's so amazing how they pulled off in 1974 or 5 that X-ray shot where he hits him so hard you watch bones shatter, then like the vertebrae stuff explode.
Yeah, it's something that like the new like it's not really new, but Mortal Kombat has been doing that for like I don't know, a decade now.
Yeah.
That, very much like took it from here.
Well, and Romeo Must Die, that was a big thing, a gimmick in that one. I think it was Romeo Must Die, or it was Exit Wounds. It was one of those around that era where they would show him punching and you just see like the arm shatter or something like that.
Yeah, it's the definite weakness of the movie is its story, but really that's not why you're watching it.
No. Apparently, this inspired the video game Street Fighter, though I don't really see. He's not really even a Street Fighter. It's not like he does it for money. Like he just. How do I explain it? Say there's another movie called Street Fighter at this time. But at the last minute, they changed it to Hard Times, the movie James Coburn and Charles Bronson about 1920s Depression-era boxing, where that's what he was. He went out into like an alley, a street or whatever, and people paid and bet on him fighting. Street Fighter, he's a hired assassin. He's so much more than a Street Fighter. It's such a weird title.
It's a bizarre. I guess I'm trying to analyze this from a story perspective, which I know is incorrect. But like I said before, I feel like there is an act missing because it goes from him just kind of kicking people's asses, looking for a proper sensei to learn from, and so he seems like a villain at first. But then, really, what you understand is like he's looking for a challenge to improve himself, to better himself, and then. Once he finds that dojo that he's really looking for, we cut to an indeterminate amount of time, and then suddenly there's like a gang that wants him dead, and I don't know when those two connected.
Yeah. And I will say this. The whole final sequence shot in the rain looks astounding. A low-budget movie, usually they weren't able to pull off scenes like this because it was so difficult to film.
Yeah, because you're just kind of hoping for the elements to be working in your favor, and usually it doesn't. So It's very surprising that they were able to get it to look this good.
So the final bad guy where he rips his throat out?
Yeah.
So you probably haven't seen the sequels, have you?
I have not seen the sequels.
Okay, so I've seen them all. So there's 3 of them, and then there's 3 sister Street Fighters. But in the second one, the villain from the first movie comes back, and he has some sort of like robotic larynx thing. It's ridiculous. But I would say the sequels, just skip them. Unless you really, really want to. I got them for free, so it didn't matter. But that first one, that's the only one you really need to see.
Yeah, it's good. I can kind of see it inspiring the game a little bit. I mean, there's definitely a couple of fighting locations that is similar, and it's a guy fighting people who have like unique styles, or there's like he's fighting a blind swordsman and things like that. So
yeah.
There's a little bit of that in there I can see, but yeah, definitely weak on the story. But in terms of like fighting, and it's not even like great choreography in terms of like very flashy and showy, like Snake and Eagle Shadow, which is very much focused on like the long, complicated choreography. This is just like down and dirty street fighting.
Yeah, it's raw.
It's done really well.
It kind of reminds me more of how American martial arts movies were being made in the 80s and early 90s. Until Jackie Chan, of course, popped up in 96. It seems more like that, like more shorter fighter sequences, more in your face and raw.
Yes. Yeah. And I think Japan was kind of. This is Japanese, correct? Sonny Chiba?
Yeah.
Definitely leans heavier into the violence, blood, and gore
Yeah,
aspect of it.
don't tell me Steven Seagal, his whole shtick those first 5 or 6 years isn't taken from his style.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Our next film is Harry in Your Pocket. Look, that sounds filthy. I know it. I know it going in. Harry in Your Pocket sounds dirty. It's a pickpocket movie, and it's very, very hard to find. Thank goodness we have an MGM is like this archive of movies that you can't find anywhere else. The most bizarre shit sometimes. A lot of it's from the 60s and 70s, which is so hard to find. But this is a 50-50 movie. I know people who absolutely adore this movie, and some people are just like, I don't know. I adore this movie. I fucking love it. And part of it is because I have this weird fascinations with the mechanisms of a very particular thing. Like I think I told you, I love movies that break down how, like the Social Network. I love stuff like that. Tucker, A Man's Dream, all about cars. You know, the assembly line, stuff like that. I don't know why I really like it when they break down these details. Moneyball, which isn't even really about baseball. It's about the business of baseball. But Harry in Your Pocket really is, I think, the first movie for a long time that really got into the mechanisms of a heist. Not heist, but like just something so simple and low rent really is pickpocketing. It's not like Ocean's 11 or whatever you saw where it's like, okay, we're gonna come in at midnight, we're gonna hook up all these wires, we're gonna break in, we're gonna descend down, we're gonna dodge the lasers, whatever, and we're gonna make out with $2.5 million. No, some of the stuff is like literally, hey, we got $50. We had to.
Yeah, what was it, like a good day was like $800? Like it was not, like they're not, when you see like their hotels, they're not living the high life. I mean, they're living good, but it's not like they're living in these like big casino hotels or anything.
Yeah, the funny thing is I don't know.
It's more of the thrill of it more so than the actual like lucrative nature of the grift.
Well, what I feel also is James Coburn and his mentor Walter Pidgeon, their thing is almost a rebellion against the system. Their age groups were, oh, you have to go work in a factory, and that's the only choice you fucking have. And they both decided that they're not going to do that. They're going to find a different way around life. Which I feel like there's more work being done in doing this. So yeah, the thrill of being a pickpocket has to be why they do that. And then they incorporate these two kids who, one is kind of learning how to be a pickpocket, and the other one has nothing. Just absolutely, she's just caught up in the whole deal because all her shit's stolen by a distraction from something else.
Yeah, but it's very much. She definitely is more of a thrill seeker, I would say.
Yeah,
it seems like the main guy really just the main guy is Harry, correct?
Yeah, James Coburn's Harry. So it's
yeah.
Oh shit, I can't remember the kid's name. He's been a whole bunch of shit. Michael. Fuck it, I can't remember.
Anyway, the younger man, we'll say, is definitely more of like, this is a skill that I really want to improve. Like this is like an art to him that he's really trying to work on. Versus she seems to like really get off on like almost getting caught. Like that really excites her. And it makes her a little more dangerous than him because he is more willing to understand the risk, whereas she is much more willing to take the risk.
Yeah, Michael Sarrazin is the guy. I'm sorry. For a brief moment, he was a star, and then it faded away quickly. But I love that they show like, how to use distractions, bumping into people, having someone dress a certain way to get someone's attention. They're not paying it, whatever, and how they hand off things. These guys are
how to analyze a person's appearance and then find out like where the stuff on their body would be located, like most logically, like based on what kind of jacket they're wearing, how they wear it, like all those details.
Yeah, and I've been witnessed, and I've actually been taken advantage of a couple times. I never had I had a pickpocket, but I've had a few cons pulled at me. I was a cashier at a movie theater where someone did a switcheroo on cash. Like I saw the money at the time that they wanted to break, so I broke it. And while I was looking down into the drawer, they switched the money, and I didn't realize this. When I counted down my till, it was off. And then I kind of remember that odd situation, and then I had the manager look at the camera, and she shows as I'm looking down, she had certain bill over another bill, and I didn't realize that she had switched them, and I never even stuff like that really fascinates me, mostly because I don't want to get conned or scammed.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta appreciate the skill at the same time.
Where do you keep your wallet? I'm curious.
Me, I keep it in my left front pocket. What about
Thank you. Me too. Are you left-handed?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm left-handed, so I keep mine in my left front too. I never put it in the back. It's plus it's just bad for your butt. You know, like it's
I don't do the back at all.
Your hips are all screwed up. Back to the movie though. But yeah, I just watching those and James Coburn is just for the most of the movie he's such a hard-driven fuck. Do not fuck with me. I will bring you along because you help me make money, but do not fuck with me. Harry never holds is the thing he keeps saying. I will not get caught holding a wallet or whatever it is that you pick up. And the elaborate system they have for sending those off. And it's so interesting to me at the end-ish when Walter Pidgeon, the older guy, they miss with the wallet. Not intentional, just it's such a hard thing to pull off. When he gets busted for it, what I'm shocked by, and it's such a stupid fucking mistake on his part, is that he kept saying, no, this is my wallet, this is my wallet, and it led to him being arrested. What he should have been was like, when he got busted, he should have been like, oh, what the fuck is that? Like, no, I don't know where this came from. This isn't mine. I don't, trying to play innocent as possible.
Right, yeah, because you can't. I mean, they probably won't give you plausible deniability, but you might get some. But if you say no, this is my wallet, and they look at it, it's like, no, this isn't yours. This ID isn't here.
He was older, and I would have just played dumb, like come clueless, like how the fuck did this happen, whatever. But and then it escalated. They found cocaine on him, right?
Yeah. Or he could have, I guess, been like, oh, I saw this. I saw it on the ground. I didn't know who it was. I was going to bring it to the police. You could have come up with some better excuses. Yeah,
that's the weirdest part, because a guy who's had that much history of doing cons, you think that he would have been able to come up with something to get out of it.
Yeah.
But at the end, when their team is shortened, so it's they don't have as much to work with to keep themselves from getting caught, and they go to the big baseball game and someone's on to them. I do love the fact that he's like, fuck it, I've had enough years of success with this. I'm going to let the kids go. I in fact do not actually want them to be sucked into this world. I'm hoping that's what the end result. They don't really tell you, but at the end of it, that the kids decide to go just have normal lives where they're not criminals.
One could hope. It's a 70s movie, and hope is not a huge factor.
But yeah, that's. What did you think of the movie?
I thought it was okay. I was not blown away. There's a lot to really like about it, and if I was in the mood for it, I think I would love it. Yeah. I think I was just a bit rushed that day, and so I was like, there's a lot of scenes of people talking about doing a thing before they do it, and I was like, okay, just get to the goddamn thing. But, yeah, if I was really in the mood to like sit down and watch it, I think I would love it.
The Will Smith movie Focus, which is also about pickpockets and cons and stuff like that, that's probably the closest. If you like that movie, you'll definitely Harry in your pocket, because that's kind of where the seed is planted for Focus.
And then if you want one that's just absurd and fun, Once a Thief is a great Hong Kong movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, have you seen that?
Yes, I have. And I've seen the Canadian remake that was actually a TV series for a year.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, John Woo produced it, 96 or 7.
Okay, I looked that up.
Yeah. All right, so what is our next film?
Okay, what are the other two? We have The Conversation, and what's the other one?
Black Belt Jones.
Black Belt Jones. Let's do Black Belt Jones.
All right. Look, I did enjoy it, but I kind of wish that he would have stopped trying to imitate Bruce Lee. That would have been Jim Kelly. You're fine on your own. You don't need to do the voice. But I'm also wondering, look, it's the same director as Enter the Dragon. It was the next year, and Jim Kelly got some roles because of it. But I feel like Warner Brothers is like, hey, you got to imitate him as much as humanly possible, and you almost see like it doesn't feel right for him.
Yeah, I would agree. I didn't pick this one necessarily because I thought it was like amazing. I just thought it's an interesting piece of history in terms of like, this is sort of like coming off of Enter the Dragon. This new genre is, at least new for the U.S., is starting to take off. How do we go from here?
Yeah.
And just kind of seeing how it branches out. And Black Belt Jones, I think, is really interesting because you don't really, because I think the Black community generally really resonates with kung fu movies, and so this is a really interesting. Very few kung fu movies actually star a black man.
Yeah. Well,
and
also,
much less deal with issues in the black community. So it's a very unique movie in that way.
also, Jim Kelly is the first American martial arts star. Don't get me fucking started on David Carradine. That does not count. Just because he was on Kung Fu, he didn't become like a martial arts guy 2 years later. He even admitted himself he didn't know any martial arts when he started Kung Fu. He didn't start until like the 80s. And he was like, you know what, I'm going to start taking up Tai Chi. And then we're like 3 or 4 years off of Chuck Norris breaking out. It's Jim fucking Kelly. Is the first American martial arts star, and people need to recognize. Was he a good actor? No, not really. Did he make a lot of good movies? No, not really.
It's like when a wrestler tries to act, it's like he's trying.
Yeah. So yeah, he did 3 movies for Warner Brothers, and I wish I had access to them, but I can't find them anywhere. One is The Golden Needles, which he does with Joe Don Baker after this. Then I didn't realize that Hot Potato was a sequel to Black Belt Jones, which is weird.
Oh.
Why don't you just call it Black Belt Jones 2 or Black Belt Jones in Hot Potato? Something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then the next couple years not too good. Then the last couple years, holy fucking shit. Around 77, 78 or whatever, he does a movie called Black Samurai, where he does kung fu moves on a fucking raven that's trying to attack him. It's insane. Yeah, it's blaxploitation mixed with kung fu, and it's a fun fucking watch.
Yeah, it involves a lot of comedy, some decent drama. It's got a decent story, and it's a great celebration of kung fu in the U.S. And I think it's good. It's not great. It's not going to blow you away.
No,
but
well,
it's for what it is in its time period. I think it's a really interesting movie, and it's a decent watch, too.
Yeah, the action sequences most of the time are kind of unique, and they have good choreography. They will, I'm going to tell you right now, the guy who they picked to do the back kick spin thing, a lot skinnier than Jim Kelly and shorter with a fake-ass wig, but it's still kind of cool to watch. The car wash sequence.
The sidekick that he has is also great, by the way.
Oh, he's surrounded by really great characters. The whole thing is filled with great character actors, because when you have someone who can't really act, you have a choice. Do you pick a bunch of other people who can't act as well either, so it doesn't stick out so much, or you go, fuck this shit, we're going to make everybody memorable?
Yeah, exactly.
The car wash sequence is really unique. I will say it's a little long.
It's very long. It's like 20 minutes. It feels like 20 minutes. I don't think it actually is.
But you've never seen anything like it. You just haven't. And then, yeah, it's a fun watch.
I see. A grown man fighting the mafia in a bunch of bubbles. It's very strange.
That guy with the wig, that guy with the fake ass wig was just stop. I couldn't stop laughing. And thank God they acknowledged it was a wig. Because for a while there, are you just going to pretend that shellacked piece of meat is his hair? That's one ugly ass dude. He looks like a Dick Tracy villain. All right, so our final film, The Conversation.
Sorry, go ahead.
It took me 3 tries, and I was bored out of my fucking mind until the last, 20 minutes.
Sorry. Yeah, I was worried that might be the case.
To be fair, I have ADHD. So it's a little harder for me to focus. I've been taking medication. Apparently, it's not going to work on me. I'm going to try something else. But, look, there's a reason why this movie bombed. It was critically acclaimed, but I'm telling you what, nobody showed up. $4 million is all they had. When you're coming off a movie that makes you're the first movie to ever make $100 million in America, The Godfather, and then your follow-up the next year makes 4, that has to hurt a little bit. And he probably signed real quick for that Godfather Part 2.
Yeah.
It's a
I think that's what's interesting is that you were saying that you really enjoy movies that kind of go deep on a subject, and I think this is kind of one of those. So I'm kind of surprised that,
I was even Surveillance. And you would think. I don't know. And I Gene Hackman, I give him kudos. This is the era where his comb over was fucking nuts because he was so ashamed of having any hair loss. And he says, okay, I'm going to comb my hair back and look balding. And I'm going to look chubby and dough, like just a dumpy human being. I only think Francis Ford Coppola is the one person that could have convinced him to do that. That guy just got an Oscar for like everything. He got everybody else got an Oscar nomination, bare minimum, for everything. Yeah, I'm gonna look like a lump of potatoes in a sock.
Yeah, so this movie is basically a man is paid by, I can't remember who he was paid by, to spy on two people and try to kind of track the conversation to figure out what exactly they're up to. And again, he doesn't even really know what he's doing either. It's like, well, they just want me to send them this, and this is what I'm doing. This is my job. That's all that matters. I don't care about it.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is that it's a private company. Usually surveillance during these times are FBI oriented. That's what my position was. Not independent. Like, he's almost like a private detective.
Oh, right. It was the guy's wife. The guy's husband. That's sorry. The woman's husband was contracting him to follow his wife, basically.
Yeah. And so basically he keeps getting more and more obsessed trying to figure out, first off, what they are saying, because it's so muffled and it's from a distance. Then, what does that fucking mean? What does that fucking mean? And then there's other people around him like, can you just give us what you have? Can we find out what what you could, so we can have a look or hear it? Whatever. It's like, no, you can't have this. And there's little things in this where you start to see him snap, where the guy just goes, Jesus Christ. He goes, don't you say that. He goes, what? He goes, don't you say those words. And it's like, all right, dude. And he's trying to be normal. Desperately trying to have.
I think what is fascinating about him is this really is a character study as well, on top of just being a kind of a political thriller, even though there's really politics in it, but because it kind of revolves around politics. I mean,
it's kind of like an
very shortly after Watergate, so that's kind of a topic that's in the background of everything. So this is about surveillance, and the main character, the Gene Hackman's character, really is like trying to live the most bland life he possibly can, and I feel like he's doing that because of his job is to surveil people. Is like, I'm giving people nothing. I don't want anyone to ever use this against me, and so he kind of lives such a sterile life, or maybe it's because he lives such a sterile life that he's okay with like breaking other people's privacy.
Okay, it's like a coping mechanism.
Right, yeah. So kind of going through this, and like you said, the beginning of the movie is very strange because it's like metallic warbling for like 3 to 5 minutes. You're like, what the hell is going on? This isn't part of the soundtrack. And then you find out that they're trying to like fine tune their sensor so they can hear this conversation that this woman is having that he's been contracted to follow. And what they find out after a long surveillance is that they're nervous about the husband finding out, and potentially that he could be violent towards them.
Right.
And so then he's like, okay, well, I don't have enough really to go on to like send this to the police or anything. Like, I need to find out more. So he keeps going deeper and deeper while everyone else in the field around him is like, well, what are you working on now? Like, it's like the last thing he did, it's been kind of the last thing he did actually got somebody killed. And so now everyone's like really interested in what he's doing. It was like, oh, what is this new project you got going on? I gotta find out. I gotta know your methods. And it's just becoming so overwhelming that he's trying to balance all of this, and he's starting to kind of lose his mind a little bit, and to the point where he like follows them physically to get to a location where he can find out what's going on, and then finds out, spoilers, obviously, that they were planning on killing the husband the whole time. That's what the conversation was about. And so he was worried that he was going to get this innocent woman killed, but he actually got his client killed instead. And then at that point, he like loses his mind and believes he's being like followed or listened in on, and so he just starts threadbare stripping everything out of his home. It's a real slow burn movie. Following a character's descent into madness.
I will say this: working surveillance, I've seen coworkers. There's one guy that had been doing it for 15 years, and he would spend all night watching the same 10-second loop over and over and over, different angles. Zoom in on this box, zoom in on this box, zoom, rewind, zoom, over and over. And he would talk to himself. He would argue with himself. He was fucking nuts. And I think it's because of stuff like that. I would watch footage and be like, all right, goddamn it, it's been 3 fucking hours. I gotta go for a walk. I can't stand this anymore. I can't look at this goddamn footage anymore. And I can see that happening. Also, did you ever see William Friedkin's Bug with Ashley Judd?
No, it is on my list though.
It clearly is inspired by the conversation. Friedkin was okay, so it's called The Director's Company. It was William Friedkin, Francis Ford Coppola, and Peter Bogdanovich. Bogdanovich got 2 movies done. Francis Ford Coppola got a movie done. Friedkin never did. But since they're all in the same company, I imagine Friedkin saw the conversation and then decades later said, I have to take some of this inspiration into Bug, which was what, 2006, 2007, and it's all about being stuck in a hotel room and losing your fucking mind.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
I think another thing that this movie does really well too is it also messes with you as the viewer, because like throughout the whole thing, I start suspecting everybody of like trying to figure out, like trying to steal his work.
Yeah.
And then I actually correctly assumed, like when the guy put the pen in his pocket at the conference, that was a spying device, and I was correct, and so I was like so happy about that. But then I remembered, oh yeah, I also accused like literally everybody else of spying when they were not.
You got a 10%.
I'm paranoid too now. So
yeah,
like, everything was like, why would that gorgeous woman sleep with him? Because he's clearly just a sack of potatoes. She's trying to steal his work. Turns out, no, she's not. So, like, just everything just messes with your brain.
Yeah, I did start to question what was real, what wasn't real, but it sounds like your batting average was real low.
Very, yeah.
All right, so of the 4 films, which is your favorite?
To your chagrin, it's going to be The Conversation, hands down.
No, it's fine. You would be 90% of the film going. That would be their answer. My sister loves The Conversation. 20 years ago, she was trying to get me to watch it, and it took me this long to finally get around to it. It just looked boring to me. I'm sorry, and guess what? It's still boring to me. It's not a bad movie, but it's just slow as a snail. I want to say Harry in Your Pocket, but I'm telling you right now, I have seen Street Fighter maybe 6-7 times now. Fucking entertaining as shit.
That's a very fair pick. That's very valid.
All right, so that is it for this episode. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Kersey.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All righty. Have a good night, everybody, or whatever you're listening to this. It might be morning. Have some coffee. Move on with your day.
Stop. Actually, you know what? You've had too much coffee. Put it down.
All right. You're getting paranoid.